Network Entertainment.
What is Christmas without the music of the Bukas Palad Music Ministry? Here on Let's Talk, we're going to unbox, unpack, and unwrap that question. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Bukas Palad, of course, born 4 decades ago when 3 Ateneo High School students sang at a friend's wedding. And since they sounded so good, they decided, well, why don't we put a choir together? And Bukas Palad was born. Composing, recording, and performing Filipino liturgical music, they produced over 20 albums and written songs like I Will Sing Forever, Tanging Yaman, Sayo Lamang, and Hindi Kita Malilimutan. Composed by one of the 3 founders, Manoling Francisco, who went on to become, what else, a Jesuit priest. Ano nga namang hindi Jesuita, di ba? Jandy Arboleda, who counsels the hearing impaired in the U.S., and Norman Agatep, an advertising and public relations guru whom I should bow to. Thank you, Norman, for being here and for dragging along Bukas Palad. But contrary to popular belief, BP or Bukas Palad is not an all Ateneo singing group because BP has members who graduated from other schools like De La Salle. Who's La Salle here?
Not here.
It's okay. Wala. Dito sa likod. Dito, yan. Animo Lasal. UST, may UST daw dito. Ba't taas ang kamay? Higher pa. Para kayong nahihiya. Okay, mahiya. Okay, go uste. You beat us in our home turf. I won't forget. And Metiga UP daw. Basta naman, naku, ang dami. UP fight. Okay, sige. So let's meet the rest of Bukas Palad, Norman. Of course, this is not all of you, but let's start with the girls. So just raise your hands na lang or smile or whatever. So the sopranos, Fea Asuncion, Paula Del Monte, who's comebacking, nag-guest na sa akin yan sa podcast. Ivy Masakel, Sam Candano, Ching Dungo, and Nina Bermillo. And the altos, Joanne Reyes, Bunny Unlayao, who has a juicy kwento for us later. Abby Agamata. Where's Abby? There's Abby. And Yana Lirios. The boys, the tenors, Basil Dungo, back here. Justin Pantaleon, over there. Ali Figueroa, the Ali Figueroa. Anto, JD. JD Guerrero. L.A. Saludes. Hi, L.A. L.A. Saludes. Nino Gonzalez. And, of course, Norman. And the basses. Baroque Gutierrez. There. We're there, okay? Martin Perfecto, my batchmate also. And Justin Nang. And Mati Letaba and Cash Ambas. So the title, of course, is Christmas Tradition because for as long as I can remember, I've had Bukas Palad for my guests almost every Christmas on my former television shows, including ones I remember, di ba, Norman, Holy Week pa nga, no?
Yeah.
And because on this podcast, I like to, what I said earlier, unbox, unpack, unwrap, and in the case of Christmas, unpack and unwrap, no? So this Christmas 2025 should be no different. So we are combining Christmas carols with Christmas stories told by the Bukas Palad members themselves. And for the record, I have no idea what they're going to say. Okay, so I might fall off my chair later. So anyway, Norman, before you sing your first song, tell us about Pamaskong Anyaya.
Oh, sure. Pamasong Anyaya is an invitation. It's an Advent song that invites us to patiently await the coming of Christ, to get rid of everything that prevents us from welcoming Christ into our hearts, and to open space in our minds and in our hearts to receive Him.
And you're going to sing that now.
Yes.
Sarili ang
I don't think there's a single Bukas Palad song that I don't like, especially because of the man who is on your keyboards, your accompanist, the great Palan Reyes. Palan, thank you for being. You're always here every time we have a Christmas special. But Pamaskong Anyaya, that song that leads us to the first story that we're going to hear tonight from Basil.
Yeah. Hi, Pia. Thank you. And thank you for having Bukas Palad again here. No. My Christmas story. I guess Christmas for me has always been a coming home. Since college, I've been away from my family. I grew up in Pampanga. Well, not too far, but not home nonetheless. So every time I have a chance to get home or to get back there, I do, no, and I cherish it. Growing up, I would remember, because my dad was an ex-seminarian, he started a choir in our church back home. That's how I knew and fell in love with Bukas Palad growing up. Norms. Joke lang.
I know. Grabe naman sila.
Kidding. Ayun. But yeah, and we would always serve during the Christmas Mass, during the Simbang Gabi, and it would always be a family affair, and that's something that I cherish as a tradition. Nowadays, I guess it's a bit different. We're a bit older, my siblings are a bit older. I find myself with my wife creating new traditions of our own. But we always go back to a favorite tradition, which is usually after the Christmas Eve Mass. Our family would come together and just pray right before Christmas Day strikes. That sorts of grounds us with what Christmas is really all about. So I guess yun yung pamaskong paanyaya sa atin, is to really come home to what Christmas is all about, to come home to where love is, to where family is, to where we find Christ the most.
Sounds just like Going Home to Christmas, Jose Mari Chan's song, which we recorded also earlier. But anyway, okay. The next song, ito for me, this is one of my all-time Bukas Palad favorites. It's Emmanuel, di ba? That's how
right.
we pronounce it, Emmanuel. And I know many are familiar with it, but we should listen to it again.
Isang dalagay maglilihim at ang lalaki ang sa mundo.
This is the cue for Yana Lirios to share a Christmas story. Yana, what's your story?
So hi Pia, maraming salamat sa pag-imbita po sa amin.
She's one of the youngest members of the group.
Aray ko, Norma.
I know, right?
Ikaw talaga.
In fact, I'm older than her dad.
Ouch.
Yes.
Okay.
Ayun, so actually yes, my parents are abroad. Both of my parents are OFWs. But growing up, hindi naman kami ganon. I moved abroad nung 7 ako. And Christmases before moving abroad, I think regular Christmas season growing up in the Philippines, very, very normal. Very going to mass, simbang gabi. Kahit minsan nakakatulog kami sa simbang gabi. But after moving away, when I was 7, I think I have not celebrated Christmas in the Philippines for siguro isang dekada na. Or lagpas pa. And I think that something that people don't think about or families don't think about is the OFW families that have to celebrate Christmas away from everybody else. And I didn't realize how different my Christmases were from everybody else, not celebrating with my extended family. Yung tradition namin na mag-celebrate ng Pasko is kumain sa buffet pag December 24, kasi kaming 5 lang ng pamilya ko ang nakatira abroad. But I think one of the most difficult things about living away from my parents all this time is when they finally left. My parents finally left for Singapore when I was 15. I was old enough to remember Christmases when they weren't around and life when they weren't around, but I was definitely not old enough to live away with my parents. And growing up, not being with them made me more appreciative and more it made me cherish the Christmas season a lot more. So, pag Pasko, we go to Singapore for 2 weeks and we spend all the time that we can with our parents who miss us dearly. We call with them every night. But I think that Christmas away is so different. And nakakalungkot, kahit masaya akong magkasama kaming 5, it's very sad to spend Christmas in Singapore. Not because it's walang Christmas doon, but it's not, the spirit of Christmas is totally different when you're away from your family, when you're away from people who care about you. So I'm happy to say that I'm very excited about this Christmas is that for the first time in a decade, we are not celebrating Christmas here, but we're celebrating New Year here for the first time in a decade. And it made me think about one time last year when my parents were here, just before we left for the Christmas season. Emmanuel was playing, hindi kami yung kumakanta, but Emmanuel was playing in our church. And I turned to my mom and I see that she's crying. And ako yung naiyak.
Bale, naiyak na rin ako. Sige.
I turned to my mom and I see that she's crying, and I just know that there are so many OFW parents who just want to come home.
And they can't.
And
And
they
they cannot, no?
And
Yeah.
I hope that you think about the people in your life who are far away from you this Christmas, because they're thinking about you too.
Ang daming ganon, no? Mga OFWs, parents, children who cannot come home, di ba? And then are forced to spend Christmas away from their children. Lalo na ang hirap ng ganon kasi magulang din ako, mawala yung anak mo sa'yo, yung malayo. But the beauty of technology is, podcasts like these. And then when you talk about something like that, may OFW na nakikinig.
Yes.
Tapos naiisip niya yung mga anak niya na naiwan dito sa Pilipinas o yung mga anak na nandito, nakikinig sila and then they
Yes.
remember their parents abroad. No?
Yes. I think that's something that has been a blessing to us. Kasi I remember the time when video calling was not a thing. So it's a little bit easier now, but
Yeah.
there's still a lot of difficulty.
Pero iba pa rin kahit may video call, di ba? Kasi iba yung physical closeness. No? Wow, Yana. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. Thank you. Okay. Then the next song is Pasko Na.
Ako'y nagtataka sa Paskong kailamin, upang nadamahin ng pag-ibig. Sa sampulan pinapuso'y mag-isara, at sa bawat isang puso buksan na Pasko na, Pasko na, Pasko na, Pasko na, tayo'y magtayo magkaisa, at sama sa saya ng sampulan ina. Ako'y nagtataka sa sasabang bayan, kung magdadamadangan ng haring anak. Sa sampulan inapuso'y mag-isa lang, at sa bawat isang puso buksan na Pasko na, Pasko na, Pasko na, tayo'y magtayo magkaisa, at sama sa saya ng sampulan ina. Pasko na, Pasko na, Pasko na, tayo'y magkaisa, at sama sa saya ng sampulan ina. At sama sa saya ng sampulan ina.
And that is the next cue for the next story. Medyo ninenervous ako, baka maiyak na naman ako. Justin, Pantaglo.
Thanks, Pia. Ako din nervous actually.
May reveal ba?
Nervous about
May
the story and nervous ba ako? Siguro let me start off by saying my wish for Christmas this year is nothing special, but all I really wish for is a peaceful Christmas at home with my family. Kahit walang celebration, nothing, just with family at home. And the reason why is, kinabahan din ako when Norman asked me to share. Christmas has been touchy for me for the past 5-6 years.
Microphone. Put your mic.
Yeah. So similar to Yana's story, ako yung OFW. So yeah, I know how it feels. I was based abroad for a while.
How old were your kids?
I don't have kids. I'm
Ah,
single.
okay.
Yeah.
Parents with your parents.
Yeah, I was alone abroad, working abroad. So my
Okay.
family's here in Manila. I got stuck abroad during COVID. So I didn't come home for 2 years. I spent my first
Christmas away from home. So buti na lang meron akong friends abroad na, na may family. So we spent Christmas together. It wasn't so sad, I have to admit. Okay lang. Kasi I felt everyone was stuck. And yeah, yun nga. Thankful for technology, that you can talk to family, etc. So it was fine. I felt everyone was home. Yeah. The second Christmas was a little bit different kasi a lot of my friends went back home. They got repatriated back, and I'm still there.
Why? What happened? Bakit ikaw hindi ka nakauwi?
Wala lang. No, kasi that time, meron pang quarantine, and it was a bit impractical for me to come home, and then my job was really there, so I wasn't being transferred back yet. And then that Christmas, I found out my dad got sick. So it was very difficult for me kasi parang it was just me and a friend, alala ko, who was there during Christmas. Tapos, parang hindi ko naman ma-share lahat, with my friend there. I know, syempre mahirap din sa kanya because he practically is also spending Christmas, alone in Malaysia with me. It was pretty, tough for me, for a few weeks when I learned my dad got sick. And then, I don't know, sabi ko sa sarili ko noon, what do I do?
What was he sick of?
Kidney disease. Yeah. So.
And he's okay?
He's okay now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So thankfully, para may blessing na dumating noon na I got a call na we're offering you a role that can be assigned anywhere. So I took that as a chance, and then I remember, I was in a coffee shop, December 24, 11:30 a.m. I called the person who was offering me a job, same company. Tapos umiiyak ako. Kasi sabi ko, I'm taking the job kahit di ko masyadong gusto. Because it will allow me to go home. So parang I felt, thank you, Lord. Yeah. So that was probably one of the most bittersweet Christmases for me, spending it alone abroad, knowing that there's something bad happening at home, but at the same time, parang feeling ko may manna from heaven that came to me. Yeah. So fast forward the next year, I was able to go home. Pero the next 3 years back home, Christmases were not very good, I would say, for my family. Spent it in the hospital for 3 consecutive years. Pretty tough, but touchy and emotional ako parate when I talk about during Christmas the past few years. And yun, thankfully we always come out, safe from the hospital. My dad's okay. Buong pamilya. Last year, I remember na-discharge kami 11:30 p.m. December 24. Parang, thank you, Lord. So, yeah, okay lang kahit walang celebrations, parties, whatever. For me, parang, similar to what you said, nag-iiba yung spirit of Christmas when you grow up. And now, reminder nga sa dad ko na be sure you won't get sick, okay? It's already November. So, yeah, for me, that's my wish for Christmas, really. And yeah, Christmas for me is hope also. Especially when that happened to me. I got to go back home, without leaving my job or what. So I really felt blessed that I had that opportunity. Yep. And I hope everyone gets a peaceful and happy Christmas.
Parang pag tumatanda ka, parang the things you need or want are the most important already, especially for Christmas. Wow, what a story. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. And thank you, Justin, Yana, and Basil for all your stories earlier. And of course, for the songs. So this is just part 1. So please stay tuned for part 2 of this Christmas tradition with the Bukas Palad Music Ministry, dropping very soon on Spotify or wherever you listen. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Let's keep talking.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.